What's up, everybody? So this is going to be a little hobby update ramble, and as you can see, it's two things here. A Primaris model and a Forge World Sekhmet Terminator for the Thousand Suns Legion. So firstly, they're roughly, you could say, but roughly I mean they're on the exact same size base, but the size difference is evident. If it wasn't for the Terminator headdress thing there, the Space Marine Primaris Captain would be standing above the entire Terminator. So yeah, big model the Primaris are. They're in various early stages of painting the way I do things, and that's why I wanted to do this hobby update now, just to kind of go over my little strategy and how I paint these guys up, because I like to share strategies. It's good to see what people do. It helps people out, especially if they're new or just wondering how to tackle a certain project. And feel free to share your thoughts on how my strategies are terrible or your own strategies. So anyways, starting with the Sekhmet Terminator. Really like this model. I have the arms separate. The arms are also painted like this. I'm very simplistic with my approach, and what we got here is bare plastic and resin. I did not base coat anything over this before the gold. The gold is going on bare, and this is Vallejo's liquid gold. As you can see, it does a fantastic job. This isn't like 3 or 4 coats. This isn't even 2. It's like 1-ish, if you will. And we got great coverage here. Really reflective, really good looking gold. In fact, if you're going to do a gold armor color, whether you're doing Celestial Lions, you're doing Custodian Guard, whatever the case may be, do this. Get the Vallejo liquid gold. Just put it down on the armor. No need to base something underneath it. Wash it with like a nice brown chestnutty type of wash, and then either dry brush or pick out the details again with Vallejo liquid gold, and then layer up a little bit if you wanted to, and you're gonna have a really nice, quick, efficient looking gold. Anyways, random tangent over. This hasn't been washed yet. It's just the gold, and I wasn't super careful. As you can see in the tab here, there's some gold on it, and that's okay. You don't need to be super careful at this stage. I'll eventually pick out the details and clean things up. The reason why I went willy-nilly with the gold is I'm doing Tamir Clear Red, as you saw in that 1000 Suns Powered Armor test model I did a bit ago. That's Tamir Clear Red over gold as opposed to silver. You could do a full silver instead and paint the Clear Red over that. I went with the gold. It gives it a bit of a warmer red in my opinion. That's what I'm looking for. Plus, all the other ornate pieces on this armor is going to be in gold, so it's 2 birds, 1 stone. Get the clear red to go over it. I stay as neat as I can with the clear red, and then touch up the gold pieces after the fact, and you got your model nearly done at that point, you could say, or a lot, well over halfway done for sure. The one thing with this, and I don't have it here to show you, is the Cataphracti twin bolters, the Kami bolters, storm bolter basically. The barrels, for me, are too thin to drill out. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be drilling out these barrels. Instead, I'm going to do the black dot approach to make the barrel hole appear to be there. Not my most favorite thing to have to do, but I just don't want to risk ruining the gun barrels because of how thin they are to drill it out. That's just me, though. Anyway, he's on the base he's going to stay on. I want to try and do more of that just to make one less step for myself and try and put them on their bases from the get-go. It's not fully finished yet. Once I do a wash, I'm going to go in there and pick out carefully the gold. As you can see, there's some plastic there, but this is more or less my very first stage of how I do things. And in this case, it's all gold. So that's the Sekhmet. As you can imagine, it's going to get the Thousand Suns Legion treatment, so red and gold. I'm going to try and be faithful to how Forge World has the Sekhmet example, some more white on the model than I intended, but I'm going to still do the whole copper weaponry color. I just like that as an extra metallic color to pick out and just add to the coloring on the model. So yeah, that's my own little spin on it, I guess. Anyways, that's the Sekhmet. Here is a Primaris Captain. Again, partially assembled, just like the Sekhmet. What I do is I partially assemble to a point where I feel like I've assembled enough without things being cumbersome and in the way. So that's why the bolt rifle armor is off, because that will be in front of the torso and be in the way. So this is instead base coated gray. And then this has my second approach. Once it's fully base coated where I want it, I wash the armor in black. In this case, I would do a brown wash on the gold in case it's black, and I wasn't very careful, as you can see on the shoulder pad. It's very dark, but that's okay. I can clean it up, no problem. Assembly was very good. My first Primaris model to assemble. It's very different from, not very, but it's very different. Makes it sound ridiculously different, and it's not that bad. But things must go together a certain way on the Primaris, way more so, at least with this captain model, way more so than a Space Marine captain, a regular Space Marine captain. So, as you can see, he's also not fully assembled. There is a tabardy piece that goes on here, or whatever it's called, and it goes in the hole. It's this little like bit that actually fits in that hole one way, and that secures it with, of course, with glue on top of that. That's why that hole is there. So things very much go together a specific way. So this is going to be my DIY chapter finally that I'm settling on. I got a plan for the color scheme. Now, being a veteran, being an HQ, a command model, the shoulder pad trim is going to be a different color than what the base would be, but the point will be across once I fully paint this guy up. Most of the armor color will be a light-ish gray, as that's why I basically did it the way I did. I got plans for his power sword though. That's why I didn't wash it yet or anything. So that should be some fun. And I'm going to use copper on this model as secondary colors, and because I like copper. You know, don't judge me. But anyways, the big difference though is this shoulder pad here. I went onto Shapeways basically. I did a search and I found a dude. I'm assuming it's a dude, could be a girl, I don't know. I found a person that had the Legion Destroyer shoulder pads that they could 3D print and ship out. And I bought a bunch of them because this is the symbol I've been wanting for the longest time to do on my models. I would love to get the Moritat, the Twin Plasma Legio Moritat guys, whatever they're called, have a really awesome this Legion Destroyer shoulder pad symbol. It's got a skull on top of it with some lightning bolts. I really want that for my main leader shoulder pad, but I'm not going to buy that model just for the shoulder pad. So that's unfortunate. I probably won't get that shoulder pad, but if there's one shoulder pad I really want for the HQ and these guys with this symbol, it's that Legion Moritat shoulder pad for the Legion Destroyer symbol. Anyways, tangent again. I do that a lot. More or less the same, only this is on the second step of washing it. Now, of course, I'm going to go back in and pick out the gray as clean as I can, and then do the secondary colors and so forth. But again, on the base that he's supposed to be on. One thing you're going to want to do is dry fit the Primaris Captain a lot. I've always recommend dry fitting pieces, and it seems like Primaris dry fitting is going to be a big friend, because, especially in the case here with the way the legs went together, this back leg, pretty straightforward. You'll feel it lock into place one way when you dry fit it, then you put some plastic glue on it, give you more working time, put it in that same position again, hold it for a bit till it sets, let it dry. And this leg is a bit more freeform because it's bent up like this with this piece all being one piece, meaning the rubble he's standing on and the bottom half of the leg are one piece. Dry fit it, and then when you have the plastic glue and you start gluing it, sit him down the way you want him to stand, as straight as you want him to stand. Because it'll kind of fall into place to stand that way once you kind of fit it that way and kind of hold it in place that way. That way you don't accidentally have him like pitched over too far or whatever. That's one thing I recommend doing that might trip you up, is that leg a bit that way. Other than that, there's a cape, there's a backpack, that's all separate. We'll paint it separately along with this arm. And yeah, that's my other model I'm working on alongside the Sekhmet. Two very different looks from the beginning and results for sure, and that's why I'm painting them together. I know it sounds weird, but because I'm not in a position to try and batch paint something for a tournament or anything like that at the moment, I just don't have the resources in terms of models to build up a tournament list for anything yet, and rule books either, and I don't have those at the moment. I've been holding off on those because I don't have the means to play just yet. So because I'm not trying to build an army for a particular deadline, what I do instead is I paint up two different schemes at roughly the same time. And what this allows me to do is work on one until I get to a stopping point, or I just want to take a break from that one model, then I work on the other thing different colors, potentially different effect I'm going for. Do that while, let's say this one's drying. For its wash, I'll work on this guy, then back and forth, and it helps keep me engaged. So that's one thing I also like to do when I'm not going for a particular goal of finish an army by a certain time period, which I don't have that goal, so it's taking my time and enjoying the ride. Anyways, thanks for sticking through this long-winded hobby update. Sekhmet Terminator, gonna be a lot of fun. Gonna use the Thousand Suns Legion decal sheet on his shoulder pads as well, and I'm gonna try and mimic, like I mentioned, Forge Roll's approach to this as best I can. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. And the Primaris Captain models can be my own doing, my own scheme and everything. So that'll be a lot of fun. Really am pleased that I was able to find those Legion Destroyer shoulder pads. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for sticking through it. Any questions, comments, or requests, leave it in the comment section. And until next time, take it easy.